Habari gani, everybody. Habari gani. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. Look, this is Gary from Enough, bringing you day 6 of Kwanzaa Live. And we have a special guest that's going to present day six's principle of Kuumba, or creativity. Kuumba is today's principle, and it's creativity. Now, look, I do want to start by saying I know last night I said that I'd be on time. I see that I'm an hour late. We do have watch night at church tonight, and I had some things to prepare, and I kind of lost track of time. Happens when you become an old guy. So I do apologize, but I'm here, and our presentation tonight is going to be amazing, and it's certainly going to be informational. I hope that Kwanzaa Live, excuse me, has been helpful for you this week. I hope it's been informative. Hope you really learned something as you've thought about the different principles that have brought us this far, as you've lit the candles each night and thought about things like unity and collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, everything. I just hope you really have thought about it, and it's really made a difference in how you're looking forward to the new year, as you thought about where we come from and our rich history and the capability and potential that we have, our beauty, our intelligence, our creativity, our kuumba. I hope you've really thought about that, and it's made a difference in your planning for next year, and it's made a difference in your outlook for next year. So look, I'm glad we're here tonight. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm going to get out of the way and share with you our presentation tonight for Kuumba, and it's being brought to you by none other than the Reverend Josh Cole again. So sit back, relax, think a little bit about the theme, the principle for today for Kwanzaa, day 6 of Kuumba, or creativity. I think you're really going to like what you hear here in a few seconds. So here you go from Josh Cole again this week on Kwanzaa Live.
Grace and peace. Good evening, everyone. I'm Reverend Joshua Gregory, and I'm celebrating here with you from the Gathering Place, Fredericksburg. I'm so excited to participate with you all during this season of Kwanzaa. And tonight, on December the 31st, as we are celebrating the 6th principle of Kwanzaa, Kuumba. And so we start off by saying, Habari gani, what's the news? The news is Kuumba. And so during this 6th principle, we simply celebrate creativity. And we make this pledge to do always as much as we can in any way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it. I want to leave you with this thought. As ancestors, I think we always look at the ancestors, the people who came before us, looking to do what we can do right now to make them proud. But I want to challenge you. Instead of doing all that we can to make our ancestors proud, we hear the term all the time, you are your ancestors' wildest imagination. But I want you to challenge this using Kuumba, the creativity, to think, are we being good ancestors today? What are we doing with our creative power, our creative energy for those coming behind us? Are we being good ancestors that we are leaving our creative energy to empower and leave our community better for those coming after us? So today, as we think about this concept of creativity, I want us to think about us as a Black people. Everything that we do, we ooze creativity, whether it's our music, it's our fashion, it's our arts and our culture. We are creative beings. We are imaginative beings. All the time you have rock and roll music, which originated from the church. You have R&B music, all these different styles of music that originated in African-American culture. And then you have our foods from all different cultures. It still traces its belongings and its history back to African-American culture and food. All of these things that we create, from fashion and design. I can challenge you now, if you look at all the major world fashion houses, there are African-American people at the helm of everything that's going on. I want us to think about creativity from a Christian perspective. In Genesis, the Bible says, and in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And if God, our Father, was a creative being, that means we as his children are creative beings. As God created the heavens and the earth, as God put time in place, as God created the waters and the animals that swim in the ocean, that crawl on the water, and each and every one of us in our many different shades of color, our accents, our dialects, God has created a wonderful creation. And we, as his children, have the exact same creative power to create, rejuvenate, empower, and illuminate everyone around us. I want you to think about this concept. If we grew up without our father, lost our father because, say, he died years ago, but our father was an imaginary, illustrious, awesome artist, how would we as his children get to know who our father is? We would study the work that he did. We would go to museums. We would study history books. We would study art books and look at all the work that our father did. And that's how we today as Christians ought to be. We look at the handiwork of God our Father, everything that he created all around us. That's how we get to understand our Father. And as creative beings, that's how people get to know us. That's how those who are coming behind us will get to know us as ancestors by the creative power we have released in this world. An amazing part about being a creative is that you have to have inspiration. You have to be inspired to create. You have to create from the depths of your soul and out of your spirit, bring something that you want to create. When we look at God and everything that he created, he was inspired to create. He wanted to leave things behind for us. And then you have to be inspired. Think about the songs that you write, the music that you make, the food that you cook. You have to be inspired. And for those of us being inspired, we want to leave behind a better community than what we found. And so many of us will begin to, hey, build gardens in our community. We may go out and paint a mural. We may even have large feasts or large dinners. But we're going to do what we can to empower our community. We're going to do what we can to make sure that our creative power empowers everyone around us and those coming after us. So I challenge you as we're thinking about this sixth principle tonight, go plant a garden so that people who are living in a food desert will have access to healthy produce, to fresh produce. Go paint a mural in an African-American neighborhood so they understand the history of that neighborhood. Go paint a mural in town so that the people understand the African-American heritage within their town. Begin to write songs so that people understand the importance of the struggle of African-Americans. Begin to write songs that will empower people to overcome the struggle. Begin to write songs that teaches us the history and the great heritage that we have as African-Americans in whatever community that you're in. Begin to write stories. Begin to explain the struggle. Begin to explain your family traditions and your history so that your children's children's children will never forget the traditions that you established today. Begin to tap into your creative power during this next year and leave our community more beautiful, more empowered than where it once was. I remember watching a movie during the pandemic. It was a wonderful Lin-Manuel Miranda play that he did. It was called In the Heights. And they wanted to do this awesome celebration for the community. It was a major block party. And throughout this whole planning, they kept coming up against oppositions that would want to stop them for doing this wonderful block party. And I want to encourage you that whatever creative power that you have, whatever creative mentality that you have, there are going to be people who are going to try to stop you. There are going to be people who will try to frustrate the creative power that you have. But I want to encourage you, empower you, and prophesy over you right now that you begin to push past everything that people are putting in your way. Be encouraged and empowered that God, your Father, is a creative being and that you are a creative being. And after doing all this creation, after doing all this creativity, after celebrating and doing all that you can, eventually you get to rest and enjoy the creation that you put out. Eventually you'll be able to celebrate and rejoice and relax in the rest of the creativity that you have. So build up now, empower now, restore now, because the generations coming after you are relying on you and your creative power. The people coming right behind you, not even your children's children's children, but your children are relying on your creative power. Your family are relating on your creative power so that they can keep on pushing forward. And I know, listen, I know times get tough. I know it's hard, but tap into Kuumba, this sixth principle of Kwanzaa that brings up creative power. Empower those around you, empower the community, and believe that you can leave our community better than where we are today. Habari, gani, what's the news? Kuumba. The Lord be with y'all.
There you go. Kuumba, creativity. Look, that was awesome. The inspiration behind creativity is so important. My wife was just saying earlier, and she's very creative about how she needs to be inspired as she creates these beautiful pieces of art that she creates under the banner of blessed hands. And the inspiration for all of us should be the Lord, ultimately, right? So look, I ask you to ask yourself, what's your inspiration? What drives you? What stirs up those creative juices in you so you can come up with different ideas, different ways of creatively living out the principles that we've talked about so far during Kwanzaa Live, right? It's amazing to think about the creative gifts that God has implanted in all of us, right? Mine may be different from yours may be different from someone else, but the bottom line is that it all comes from the Lord, and things that we can be creative about, the witty inventions, the new ideas, the new ways of reaching people, encouraging people, helping people. It's all on the inside of us. That Kuumba, that creativity is all on the inside of us. We just need to stir it up. All right. Look, happy Kwanzaa. Hope you enjoyed tonight. Hope you enjoyed this week so far. Tomorrow night is the final night, and the final principle is Imani, is faith, is faith. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Look, God bless you. Happy Kwanzaa, everybody. If you're going to come out to service at Zion tonight for Watch Night, I hope to see you there. If not, wherever you are, bring in the new year with praise, bring in the new year in worship, bring in the new year with prayer, bring in the new year with hope and excitement and a sense of anticipation of how God is going to use you in 2024. Okay? Take care now. Talk to you tomorrow night, and I'll try my best to start at 7:30. Okay. Take it easy, y'all. God bless you.